to mid-senior first thing about confidence. So once I was undergoing uh, Blair Singer's training, and because he was very straightforward, I was very scared to ask him any question because he always put it was an online program and he always was putting those people who were asking questions into spotlight, and he would grill that person about the question because it was not the direct answer, but it was kind of reflection along with it. He will ask one question, then the second question. So I told him, Blair, I was not able to ask questions beforehand because I was scared about your grilling. So then he asked, what do you coach people about? So I said, it's the mid-seniors who are stuck in their career. And that time my niche was leadership growth. So I told him that it is the leadership growth topic that I teach to the mid-seniors. And he said, so what are the topics that you teach? At that time, I was teaching time management, uh, productivity, then team management, um, like how to handle your team, how to handle your boss, and then how to be very efficient with reports. So there are 6 things which are still there in my course, which I teach because my vision statement is a calmer, cooler, and greener globe. I believe that that is the responsibility that each of us has in different words and with different perspective that you say, but it is the same thing. We all are want to protect our globe, and we want to leave the world better than we received it. So this is my tagline of my vision statement. So I think that mid-seniors can contribute towards that calmer, cooler, greener glow by being calm themselves right now wherever they are. So at the workplace, it is a very dicey situation all the time, every minute. You have to have that equation perfectly going for yourself and for the team, for the boss, and you never know when it goes out of uh, control. The moment you feel confident and you show confidence, it's different. Like showing confidence and mm, feeling confidence. Feeling confidence is nobody bothers because it doesn't show. It only shows in your work. So that is what I told Blair Singer, the mentor of all my mentors right now. So he's the grand mentor, I should say, and he is a person with ability to pick out that particular thing which is blocking you. And he immediately said, "But you don't teach courage to your students. That is what a leader should be doing, right?" And I was wondering, where is he saying that uh, I don't have courage? No, he was not saying that directly, but when I said that I was afraid of asking him question, didn't I tell it myself to him? Didn't I give him a clue about where I was lacking? So it was the courage. Now, courage is not the absence of fear, but it is taking action despite your fear all the time. If I was teaching productivity to my students, then somewhere it is about taking a decision. It is about imperfect action. It is about acting right now. Even if you are adding a drop into the bottle, all the drops would add up to fill the bottle. Don't you agree? But for that to happen, even if you are dropping just a drop, you need to have that drop to drop into the bottle. Do you agree with me on that? It is so simple. Everybody knows it. No, it's not any rocket science. Each of us understands what I am saying, and it is so simple a logic. But that is where we lack. We don't take action because we are afraid of what if we fail, afraid of what people will think if we fail. And that is where our mind plays the trick with us. Even if people don't say anything, we stop ourselves from taking action. And do you call that as courage? And if not, then who you are? Are you a leader? If you are not a leader, you will be bound to be stuck in your position because you are not taking action. A leader is not leading a team. A leader is somebody who is there to facilitate other people to become better. That is what a leader is. And why people come to us, to coaches? Because their journey needs to be smoothened, right? And if we are not doing that, then we are not serving them, right? We are not doing anything at all. So it was meaningless even if I coached 100 things. If I do not coach them to be courageous, I was not coaching them into anything. And I must say, I was teaching them timeliness, I was teaching them to how to take decisions, how to decision making also, prioritizing a thing also, delegating a thing. Everything requires courage. Do you agree? And courage is confidence. Everybody knows. How many of us implement that? Are we courageous enough to take action despite that failure and repeated failure and another failure? Then again failure. It is end of the road all the time. Do you realize that? And still, there are people, some of us, take action despite that. Not getting into anything, but still take decision, still take action every time, all the time. Do you realize about that? And that is what courage, that is what Blair Singer is was hinting at. And he also has two more things to say. He says, how you do one thing is how you do everything. That is kind of a very insulting statement because you are doing something which should not be done. And you think that you do not do that at other things. This is just that you didn't do it properly. But that is the hint that you didn't do it properly. There are reasons. There are circumstances. There are reasons, of course, there are valid reasons because of which you have failed. But those reasons also will be there when you take another action. And because of the same action or the same thing, same circumstances in another form, you'll fail again. And you also will blame the other circumstances rather than you coming to terms with those circumstances which are recurring in your failures. And how many times do you fail? And how many times do you give excuses? All that leads to the same thing. You are not courageous enough. And the second thing he says is even more interesting and very positive. He says, when you start, it is just a ripple effect. And he gives the example of honeybees. What does a honeybee do? It just collects honey for its own purpose. But in the process of doing it, It affects pollination. Pollination is the same process with which productivity increases, and it creates a lot of positivity just because the honeybee collects its own food from a flower, and that is what it all does. It does nothing else. It doesn't do anything beyond its nature. Isn't that what holds true for each of us? We can all do whatever we are capable of. Nothing beyond that. But are we true to whatever we are doing? If we are, then that is all that is required to be done. And trust me, what we need to do also takes courage to do the same thing what one should do. There are there will be thousands reasons why we cannot do what we need to do. And that is where your integrity comes into effect. So if you say that you are honest, you are good with integrity, but if you are stopping at your failure, eh, your integrity part is gone. People say we want to be honest, we want to be faithful, all those things. But when you can't see your dishonesty with yourself, then the courage part is gone. And that is what he was hinting at. So, courage to confidence is that what I wanted to tell you today. And if you like this, there is a link in the description below. You can click that and you can speak to me. Today I spoke to somebody where he also is doing something towards a greener glow. We are all struggling to be in that threshold, within that threshold of 2 degrees centigrade, which will make this globe warmer and it will be irreversible. Before that, we need to stop the warming up of the planet, and all of us have the responsibility. And how do we do it? We can contribute by doing what we need to do. We don't have to go out of our place. We can do whatever we do in a very calmer, cooler way, because if that is what we do, that one thing will hint at what we do other things also. The same corollary follows. So, hope this is useful for you, and it will steer a lot of thought process within you. And I hope that we get to speak more about how to be contributing in whatever we are doing. Thank you for watching.